Brian to participate via phone. It's on. I need a motion to allow Brian to participate via phone. Moved by Sharon, second by Junior. Any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, approval of the July 26, 2021 minutes. Is there a motion to put that on the floor? Mr. Watkins, Dr. Blair, any questions or comments in regards to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, I'll turn it over to Scott to go over the budget.
Mr. Chairman, you want to get, just for discussion purposes, a motion?
Sorry, should have put a motion on the floor first. Dr. Blair, Mrs. Allison.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. We'll go through a short slide deck that talks about the budget at a high level, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about the three budgets under your purview and jurisdiction for this committee. So for the entire budget across all funds, we're recommended at $118.5 million in sources or revenues and $121.88 million in expenditures or uses. There is an intended planned use of fund balance. A good example are road and bridge projects that in the highway department that come under Mr. Salzer's committee, where we save up for money, and then once we have those monies in reserves, then we appropriate them for that specific project. And so that's an example of how and why the revenues are less than the expenditures, because we've got some planned use of fund balance. On the property tax side, tax rate is flat at 82.41 pennies per $100 of equalized assessed value. The supervisor of assessments is estimating that we will see a 1.1% increase in EAV, or tax base, for the taxes that will be paid in 22. The pie chart that you see on the screen or in your packets, the blue pie wedges represent the operating levies. The green represent pension-related levies. You'll notice the red pie wedge is absent this year. That's because we don't have any debt service for FY22. There are some changes. We took that amount that we've levied in the current year for debt service. We moved that to FICA to address seasonal tax flow or cash flow issues in the FICA fund. And then we shifted money from the general fund to the risk management fund to implement the recommendations of a study on how we should be paying for risk management services. Risk management services include workers' compensation, unemployment liabilities, and general liabilities. As it relates to your purview, as we said, you've got three budgets to review. There's $437,600 in revenues and $728,025 in expenditures across those three budgets. As it relates to the total budget, the revenues are less than 1%, and the expenditures are roughly 1% of the recommended budget total. In the general fund is balanced at $47.185 million, just a shade under $47,186,000. The largest revenue stream is intergovernmental revenues, but the revenues for the largest budget under your purview comes under licenses and permits, and then the largest expense in the general fund are personnel services. Your share of the general fund is roughly 1% of the revenues and 1% of the expenditures. That's a very abbreviated and high-level overview, Mr. Chairman, of the recommended budget, and I am happy, along with the team, to answer any questions you or the committee might have about the three budgets under your purview and your responsibility.
Any questions for Scott or Kathy and her team? might be 1% of the budget, but I would venture to say we're probably 20 to 25% of the resolutions that come in front of the board. And some months we're the only thing that's in front of the board. So, not that we're a huge budget, there is, for a small office, a lot of work that gets done and performed by a very good and professional, yet be small staff. So, don't let the numbers confuse you by what their office does. So, any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it, which would probably be the shortest budget that we'll have here. But next is reports. If no questions or comments under reports, we'll just receive and file those. And I do want to turn over the floor under miscellaneous prior to us, to Kathy or Andrew, to introduce the newest person of our staff.
Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce Jack Weindell. He has joined our office in July of this year as a Planner 1. Jack joined us after recently graduating from Missouri State University with a bachelor's degree in community and regional planning, as well as a GIS certificate. He also completed an internship with Southwest Missouri Council of Governments. So we're happy to have him with us, and he's doing a great job.
Anything else under miscellaneous? Jack, welcome to the team. Thank you for coming in and introducing yourself today. Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to give a shout out to Kathy. Over the past year or so, we have been working with Bill Connor, who is the attorney for Limestone Township, and Derek Romer, who's the new Limestone Township supervisor, to deal with some of the problem properties that we have found in Limestone Township. I just want to say our meetings are very, very productive, and I feel like we're really getting a lot done with some of these problem properties that I get calls on all the time. So I just wanted to thank Kathy and Derek for the work they're doing, for my neighborhood.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none. Brian, anything before I call it?
Thank you. I
All right.
don't have any questions.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.